Hello friends, welcome to Notes Hunting. In this video, I am going to explain a topic from the subject Design and Analysis of Algorithms. The topic to be explained is Analysis Framework of an Algorithm. Before converting an algorithm into any programming language, it is essential to check the efficiency of an algorithm. The efficiency can be expressed in terms of time and space and can be decided by measuring the performance of an algorithm. For this, we need a general framework. It is also known as analysis framework, in which it is a systematic approach applied for analyzing any given algorithm. The algorithm can be analyzed by using 6 factors such as measuring the space and time complexity, measuring the input size, measuring the running time, computing the order of growth, and finally by computing the best, worst and average case efficiencies. Let me explain these factors individually in the following slides. Firstly, we are going to know how space complexity can be measured. The amount of storage space or memory required by an algorithm to execute is called the space efficiency or space complexity. It can be measured by using the formula S of P is equal to C plus SP, where S of P denotes the space complexity of the given program P. C denotes the constants used for inputs and outputs in the program, and SP denotes the instance characteristics of a program, such as the number of elements in a list or an array, etc. Let me explain this with an example. What I have taken here is an algorithm to find the sum of first n natural numbers. The name of the algorithm given is add, where x and n are the parameters passed. Initially, first assign the value of a sum as 0 to avoid any garbage values problems. To get n numbers starting from 1, for loop is used here. Inside the loop, the executing statement sum is equal to sum plus x of I is used, where x is the array and n is the total numbers we are going to add. When the loop's execution terminates, the algorithm returns the sum value as output. To analyze the space efficiency for this algorithm, first check the number of values involved. Here, sum, I and n are the 3 variables in which each will take 1 memory space. So, total variable space is 3. This is the value of C. Next, the space for array variable x must be calculated. The array will be stored in n matrices in its memory location. So, provide n as the memory space for the array x. This is the instance characteristics of the algorithm, that is SP. Finally, sum up all the values by substituting them in the formula S of P is equal to C plus SP, by which we can get the space complexity as n plus 3. Next, we are going to measure the time complexity. The amount of computer time required by an algorithm to run to completion is called time efficiency or time complexity. It is very difficult to complete in terms of physically clocked time. Normally, in multi-user systems, the time of execution always depends on some parameters such as present load of the system, instruction set used in it, number of other programs running simultaneously, and the speed of underlying hardware in the system, and so on. To overcome these difficulties, time complexity is calculated in terms of frequency count, in which it is the count is the number of times a statement gets executed. Time complexity is denoted by big O notation. Let us learn how to measure this time complexity using some examples. The first example I have chosen here is finding sum of n natural numbers. Here we are not going to consider the number of variables used as in the case of measuring space complexity. Rather, we are going to concentrate on the executable statements only. I have listed the executable statements and the frequency count separately under 2 columns. The statement I is equal to 0 gets executed only once. That is, I less than n gets executed for n plus 1 times, in the sense n times for true and 1 time for false condition. I plus plus gets executed for n times. Sum is equal to sum plus a of I. This statement gets executed only for n times, that is for true conditions only. Finally, sum up all of the above. we get 3n plus 2 as the time complexity, which is denoted as big O of n. The next example I have taken is to generate Fibonacci series. The algorithm accepts n value as input. If n is less than or equal to 1, then the output will be n. Else, assign 0 to A and 1 to B. Add A with B and store it in C. Again, assign A to B and C to A. Repeat until the condition satisfies. If condition fails, generate C as output. This is the working of this algorithm. The time complexity for this algorithm produces two different results. One is when n is less than or equal to 1, and another one is when n is greater than 1. First, I am going to explain the first case, that is when n is less than or equal to 1. The two possible inputs are 0 and 1. When checking the condition 0 or 1 is, that is less than or equal to 1, the result becomes true and output will be generated as n value. All the rest of the algorithm statements will never get executed and the algorithm comes to an halt. So, the two statements, if n is less than or equal to 1 and right of n will get executed only once, and by summing them we get 2 as the time complexity. Next, the second case is when the value of n is greater than 1. The statement if n is less than or equal to 1 gets executed only once. So its frequency count is 1 here. The result is false. Hence, the statement right of n will never get executed. So its frequency count is 0. The execution comes to the else part. Here, A is equal to 0, B is equal to 1 will execute for one time and their frequency count is 1. Next, the for loop statement gets executed for n times. Here, n times is because of the starting value of I. Since I starts from 2, the loop gets executed for n minus 1 times for true condition and once for false condition. Therefore, n minus 1 plus 1 is equal to n times. The statement C is equal to A plus B, B equal to A and A equal to C. Each execute n minus 1 times, that is for true conditions, until the statement right C gets executed for one false condition. So its frequency count is 1. By summing up all the above frequency counts, we get 4n plus 1 as the time complexity. Next, we move on to the to measure the input size of an algorithm. Usually, algorithms run longer on larger inputs. For example, it takes longer to sort large arrays, multiply larger matrices and so on. It is logical to investigate an algorithm's efficiency as a function of some parameter n, which indicates the input size of the algorithm. It may be an exact or an approximate value. The choice of an appropriate size metric can be influenced by operations of the algorithm. For example, for a spell checking algorithm, if it examines individual characters of input, then we should measure the size by number of characters. If it works by processing words, then we should count their number in the input. This metric usually gives a better idea about the efficiency of the algorithms. Next, I am going to explain how to measure the running time. We already knew that the time complexity is measured in terms of frequency count. For this, one must have a strong knowledge about the algorithm to be analyzed. First, identify the basic operations involved in the algorithm. Next, the concept of the basic operation must be well understood because of the inner loops which may be involved. Finally, compute the total number of time taken by the basic operations. Now, the formula used is T of n is equal to COP into C of n, where T of n denotes the running time of the basic operation, COP denotes the time taken by basic operation to execute, and C of n denotes the number of times the operation needs to be executed. By substituting these values, we can measure the running time of an algorithm. Now, I am going to explain how to compute the order of growth of an algorithm. It can be measured by the performance of an algorithm in relation with the input size. Consider the example given in the below table. Here, for the values of n, the function log n increases in value by just 1. the linearithmic function n log n increases slightly more than twofold. The quadratic function n square increases fourfold and the value of 2 power n gets squared. Hence, the larger values of n, it is the function's order of growth that counts. The efficiencies of some algorithms may differ significantly for inputs of the same size. For search algorithms, we need to distinguish between the worst, average and best case efficiencies. Now I am going to explain each of these cases with examples. I have taken the sequential search algorithm as an example for all the three cases. This algorithm searches for a given item in a list of n elements by checking successive elements of the list until either a match with the search key is found or the list is exhausted. For the best case efficiency, it is the efficiency of an algorithm for the best case input of size n, in which the algorithm runs the fastest among all possible inputs of that size. This example contains a list of 3 elements of values 10, 20 and 30. The input given to search is value 10. While search the list, the searched element 10 present in the first position. So, the search needs to be done only once. Hence, the running time is C best of n is equal to 1. For the worst case, it is the efficiency of an algorithm for the worst case input of size n, in which the algorithm runs the longest among all possible inputs of that size. Here, the input given to search is value 30 and it was present in the last position. So, the search needs to be done for n times. Hence, the running time is C worst of n is equal to n. For the average case, the efficiency lies between best and worst cases. To analyze it, we must make some assumptions about possible inputs of size n. Here, we are going to search two elements 20 and 40. There are two possibilities of the outcome, such as the probability of a successful search for the element 20 and probability of unsuccessful search for the element 40. Let me assume that P is the probability of an unsuccessful search and 1 minus P is the probability of unsuccessful search. It is given in this slide. Total number of elements in the list is denoted as n. Let P divided by n be the probability of occurring first match for every ith element. Therefore, the average case is calculated as the sum of successful search and unsuccessful search for n elements. By substituting and solving, we get average case of n is equal to P of n plus 1 divided by 2 plus n into 1 minus P. Let it be the equation number 1. By putting P is equal to 1 for successful search of element 20 in equation number 1, we get C average of n is equal to n plus 1 the whole divided by 2. By putting P is equal to 0 for unsuccessful search of element 40 in equation number 1, we get C average of n is equal to n. It should be clear that average case efficiencies cannot be obtained by taking the average of worst and best case efficiencies. Thus, the efficiency analysis framework concentrates on the order of the growth of an algorithm's basic operation count as the principal indicator of the algorithm's efficiency. Thank you for watching this video. If you need lectures on the subjects of environmental science and engineering, engineering chemistry and computer science and engineering, please inform us in the comment section. If the video is useful to you, then please subscribe our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notifications about our latest uploads. Bye.